Okay, so the game which we are going to create today, it's going to look like this. It's an arcade game with things dropping from the top. It's going to be something like this, where you can collect different crystals. You have lives, so if this is going to hit you, your life is going to go. Get a nice sound when it hits. And then keep on collecting crystals till all your lives go. Okay, so that's about it. It's a simple game. Okay, so the objective is for you to create all the crystals, and then your lives get over and the game ends. Okay, simple enough. So this is what we're going to create on Scratch today. So let me just go inside. Okay, so I'm going to create this game completely from scratch for you all. So I just go to file. I'm going to create a new project. Okay, in this I'm going to delete the cat sprite. I'm going to draw my own sprites. First let me name this project. So I'm going to call it arcade game. Okay, and then I'm just going to start by creating my new sprites. So paint a sprite. First thing I'm going to create is a platform, so I'm just going to give it a nice bright green color. I'm going to go and remove the outline, and then I'm going to go and draw a rectangle out here like this, and then just in the stage drag it like this. So I have it right here, and this is going to be my platform. So rename the sprite. Second thing, again paint a new sprite for a player. So I have my new sprite here. I just created a new sprite. Then I'm gonna make a player. So player is going to have two costumes. One is blue, so I take a nice bright blue color, and then I'm gonna go and draw a nice square here without borders. Okay, so if you want a square, you can actually hold your shift key and then draw, and you will get a perfect square. Okay, that's a little trick which you can okay, so there's something here which I've put, which I don't want to delete it. So if I want to select this, I'm going to do this. Okay, and then align it exactly to the center. Right now I duplicate this costume. I'm going to select this costume, make the color red. Okay, and I'm going to tilt this like this. Oh, sorry, it was a mistake. So I'll just select this, slightly tilted. Why tilt? Because this is going to be my damaged costume. So I'm going to give two names for this costume. The first one is good costume, the second one is a damaged costume. So damaged costume is when your obstacle hits you, you're going to look as if you're damaged, the player. Okay, then this I'm going to rename this sprite to call it player. Now I'm going to draw a third sprite. These are my obstacles. It's easy to draw them. What I'm going to do is just choose any color except black for these obstacles. I'll do something like a purple. Yeah, this looks fine. So black means you cannot change color. I'm going to change color for the obstacle later. I'm just going to use purple. So just draw a single line here. Okay, and then align it to the center. Okay, now we need to give gaps in it so that the player can fit inside the gaps. So for that, what I'm going to do is just take the erase tool. Okay, and then erase some gaps out. Okay, so I'm going to create 4 costumes, and I think this gap is good enough for the player. Okay, so this one, and then here one more. So the first costume, I'm going to create 2 gaps like this. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, in fact what I should have done is I should have duplicated it before and then done it. So let's do this one more time. What I'll do is I will delete this whole thing. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a line here. I'm gonna delete it. I'm fumbling here a bit. Okay, it can be faster. Delete all this. Now let's start over. So draw a line. Oh, here, square. Then draw a line, align it to the center, duplicate 4 times because I want 4 costumes. Now come to the first costume and start erasing. Okay, so on costume 1 gap and 2 gaps. Okay, costume 2, only 1 gap in the center. Okay, costume 3, only 1 gap in the side. Okay, in costume 4, one gap in this corner, the other gap in this corner, like this. Yeah. Oh, and see this. Yeah, perfect. This here also can delete this. Perfect. Okay, so these are my 4 costumes. 1 2 3 4. Rename the sprite to call it obstacles. Okay, then the last one I need to draw, I'm not going to draw this, I'm just going to bring, you know, crystals, right? So just come down to C, A, B, C crystal, bring it here inside. Okay, so now we're going to code the player. Very easy to code the player. There's no code for the platform. I go directly to the player, and in the player I say when green flag clicked, I have 2 costumes, good and damaged. I start with the good costume. Okay, first of all I need to make the size of the player slightly smaller, so let me do that. So let me just put 80 just to see how it looks. Let me hide the obstacle, so I can just hide it so you can see the size of the player. This looks good enough. Okay, and if I click this, it's going to change the first costume. Yeah, this looks good enough for it to fit inside the hole, so I change it to size. Then I put the costume here. Then I'm going to say I have to start with the backdrop, so I'm going to make 2 backdrops basically, so I missed that part. So go to the backdrop, you have 1 blank backdrop, just paint another backdrop which is 1 more, and here you just are going to write game over. Okay, second backdrop, it's going to be game over, make it bigger, center align it, double click on it to select it, and then give a nice font, whatever you like. I go with pixel. Okay, so I have a game over backdrop and a normal backdrop. You can rename it, so I'm going to call it game play backdrop is the first one, and the second backdrop I'm going to call it game over backdrop. Yeah, so then I come back here in the player. I'm going to go and say not only do I switch the player's costume, I also need to switch the backdrop to gameplay at the beginning of the game. Then I'm going to show the player sprite, and then I'm going to make a go to here. So I'm going to just drag him any place I want which is touching this green color. It can be anywhere on the x-axis, so just put him here and then get a go to and plug it here. So you see -88 -131 is what we have here. Okay, and then now I'm going to put a forever. So I'm going to put a forever. I'm going to say 2 if thens here, 1 and 2. I'm going to say sensing if touching the right arrow key, and duplicate it and touch the left arrow key, right? And then you have to change the x by a certain number here, which is 10, and I'm going to change the x here by -10, right? So I'm going to click this now, and what should I have? I should have a freely moving player like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and write a bit of the obstacle code, pause the video, and then cut the second video so that it's easy for you to use. Okay, so let's start this. So for the obstacle, I'm going to say when green flag clicked, I just need it to make a clone of itself. Okay, because I want the obstacles to come one after the other, right, with different costumes. So I'm going to first hide the main one, and then I'm just going to create clones. So I'm going to hide it, and then I'm going to say create a clone of myself, and then the next thing would be what should happen when it starts as a clone. I'm going to make the obstacle go at the top here, right here. The x, because it's full, I'm going to put the x 0, so I'm going to say go to, in the x I'm going to put a 0, okay, which will make it come like this full end to end of the stage. And in the y I'm just going to put -170. So now if I, and then I have to show this, otherwise you won't be able to see what I've done. So I'm going to like show this, and then if I click the green flag here, Oh, why is it coming down? Let me take a look. Oh, I put minus 170. It's 170, right? See here. Perfect. I guess this is one of the costumes. So this is what is coming first, and then we're going to change it to different costumes. So next thing is, yes, I'm going to do just that. So I'm going to say switch costume to, instead of choosing one costume here, I can actually put a pick random inside this from 1 to 4. Why 4? Because I've created 4 costumes, so I'm going to pick. So every time I'm going to see this, it's going to pick different costumes. There's a problem here. See, one of these costumes is full length, so let me just go see what that is. It shouldn't be the case. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Oh, the last one, no, it's right. So I wonder what's coming, but anyway, let's see. If there's a problem, then we'll try to sort it later. So I'm going to say switch costume, pick random 1 to 4, and then I'm going to say this costume has to keep coming down, okay, until it either touches this platform or touches the player. In either of the two cases, it should keep coming down. Okay, after that it should just stop there. So I'm going to put a repeat until here, do something until. Okay, so control repeat until, and repeat until I'm going to say 2 conditions here, either or, one of the 2 conditions. So either touching platform or touching player. I'm going to change the y by a negative number so that it keeps coming down. So I change y by -3. I don't want to come very fast. Okay, see, like this. This is perfect. Okay, then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to put a forever, and I'm going to write some conditions in the forever. So forever. Okay, I'm going to say if touching the player. So I'm going to put a if then. Say duplicate this. If touching the player, then I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to make some lives. So I'm going to go and create a variable. I'm going to call it lives. Be for all sprites. Click OK, and I can go to the player, and in the player first I'm going to set the lives. So I'm going to say set lives to 5 or 3 or any number you want. I'm going to set it to 5. Then I come back to the obstacle again, and in the obstacle I'm just going to say change lives by -1. So if it touches the player is going to lose 1 life. Okay, and I'm also going to put a nice sound here. So I'm going to say start sound. So let's just see what all sounds I have. I don't have anything, so let me just, I'm going to bring a sound. I'm going to call it zoop. Okay, you might not hear my sounds, my system sound recording is not on, so but you should be able to put that sound yourself. So I'm going to say start sound, and then I'm going to change the lives, and then I'm going to, once it touches the player, okay, or the platform, in either case, it should hide. Okay, so I'm going to hide this. So I'm going to put a hide. Okay, and then after hiding, again it has to start as a clone, and the whole thing should repeat. Okay, so I'm just going to put here after hiding, create a clone of myself. Okay, and the other thing is, see, the lives keep on changing, right? But if the lives become 0, then what should happen? That's something which we need to look at. Okay, so I'm going to say inside this loop I'm going to write another if then. Just be very careful here, it has to come inside this if loop, okay, not below, inside. So I'm going to put here if the lives become less than 1. Okay, the lives become less than 1. Okay, then what do? I stop the game. So I'm just going to say lives become less than 0. I can just stop all, control, stop all. Okay. The other condition is what should happen if I touch the platform. So suppose it's here in the middle and this comes and touches the platform directly. So another if then, be very careful where you put it. You have to put it under this if, okay, at the level where if touching player starting, the same level I'm gonna duplicate this if touching platform. Okay, then what should happen? It should again hide and it should create a clone of itself. So I'm just going to put this here, hide and create clone of myself. Okay, so this is the code for the obstacle. Okay, now I'm going to do one thing. So see here, if the obstacle is touching the player, okay, then I want to play the player to change costume. You remember we made a red color costume for the player. Okay, so I'm just going to give a broadcast message here. Before here you can put it after the sound starts. In fact you can even, okay, let's just leave it here. So this broadcast message I'm going to say damage player, damage player. Okay, and I'm going to go to the player and I'm going to say when I receive the damage player, okay, I can switch costume to damaged first of all, and then I can also play sound, right? You can put a nice little sound here. Just go and bring any nice sound like zap or zoom or whatever. Get a nice sound which is like, we can put a crush, yeah, this crunch. Okay, so we can put a crunch sound here. So I just say start sound crunch. Okay, so player gets damaged. And then see, it's back in this costume. I wanted to switch back to the other costume after a very light weight, okay, not too much. So I just wanted to blink, that's all, nothing else. I'm just going to put 0.2 seconds and then I'm going to switch the costume back to good, and then okay, I'm going to do this like this. First the sound starts, then so you see here, okay, the sound is already there. I've already put a sound, so I'm going to remove this. Remember the sound, we put it there, so that's a better sound. So yeah, okay, so see here, the sound I've already given here, zoop, yeah, so then it damages the player and then do this. Okay, now let's make it collect some crystals. So I'm going to go to the crystal code and I'm going to start writing the code for the crystal. So first thing is I want to make the crystal slightly bigger, so it's the same size as the player. Okay, so I want to make the crystal the same size as the player. So just give me a second here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the size of the crystal bigger, so about the same size of this. Okay, then I'm going to just put it here so I know the where it needs to be placed, I mean the y value of the crystal. So I'm now going to put a green flag clicked. I'm going to clone the crystals so I get many on the screen. So I'm just going to, when I clone, I hide the original, and then I'm going to count the number of crystals that he's going to collect. So I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call crystals. Okay, I'm going to put it as for all sprites, and then I'm going to say here repeat. I'm going to make 3 clones of the crystal. Every time I want 3 crystals to appear. So here I'm going to say create a clone of myself. Now I'm going to start a new event which says when I start as a clone. We find it in controls. Okay, so then I'm going to, I have hidden the original, so I need to show the clone. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a go to XY. For the Y, I'm going to use this value minus 129. This is 1, but for the X, instead of just giving one number, I'm going to pick a random number. Okay, and I can pick it from, so I don't want to go to the extreme edge, so I'll just put minus 220 to 220. Okay, so that half the crystal will be hidden otherwise. So I'm going to put this, and then I'm going to say forever. Okay, I'm going to say forever. Just a second. If touching player, if sensing touching player, then I'm going to change the crystals by 1. Okay, I can put a sound here. I'll just put a collect sound. I have it here, so I'll just say start sound collect. I have to hide the crystal. If I don't hide the crystal, your number is going to keep on increasing. Okay, count of crystals is going to keep on increasing, so I need to hide the crystal as soon as it's touched, and then I want to make the crystal appear again, right? So I'm just going to say wait for a random number, so wait from anywhere between 1 to 3 seconds. Okay. I don't want to give a long wait also, so pick random 1 to 3 seconds. I'm going to repeat this again. It is going to go back to this place. Okay, and it is going to show. You have hidden it here, so you need to show it, so I can just say show. Okay, this is when you touch the player. So what happens to the crystal when the obstacle comes and touches it and not the player? So I'm going to put another if then here. Here I'm going to say if touching obstacles. First of all, as soon as it touches, I'm gonna just duplicate the whole thing. It's gonna hide, it's gonna wait another pick random seconds, it's gonna go to another different location, and it's going to show. Okay, so now let's check. Wow, okay, wow, I lost 2 lives already, but I did get 9. Oh, okay, I am not a very good player of this game, you see. Ouch, 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 ow, I've lost it. Okay, okay, so that's it. Night is beautiful. Okay, we made a, remember, game over backdrop, right? So where are we supposed to put the game over backdrop? It should be when the lives become 0, right? So we can do that quickly. I'm gonna go to the player. No, I'm gonna go to the obstacle, and here you go. If lives less than 1, stop all. So before stop all, you can switch backdrop to game over, and then so let's quickly check it once again. I'm going to try and collect more crystals, but I find it tough, find the game difficult. Okay. Oh, what? How did I get 23 crystals? Did I really? Or is there a glitch in the game? Oh, doesn't. Oh, yeah, it seems that it is. I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Oh, yes, that's because I haven't set the crystals to 0 at the beginning. I'm starting with the 31 crystals right at the beginning. So let's do that here. Let's just go and put a variable which says set crystals to 0 at the beginning of the game. So now we should be good and great. Yeah, so now you see I get my usual number of crystals, right? So perfect. You can put different types of crystals and give higher points to some really rare ones. There's a lot that you can like do with this game. Okay, so please have fun making this game and then enjoying it. Thank you.